Focused and fearless, here's everything you need to know this rush hour of February 18, Tuesday. I'm Riza Diaz. Kicking off today's rush with a total of 28 overseas Filipino workers testing positive for the coronavirus disease. These include one OFW from the United Arab Emirates and 27 who are on board the Diamond Princess cruise ship still docked in Japan. Now, despite the increasing number of cases abroad, the government has yet to finalize the evacuation plan for the over 500 Filipino crew members. If approved, the evacuation can only begin tomorrow, which also marks the end of the 14-day quarantine period for everyone aboard the ship.
We will await the recommendations of the technical working group that have more specific details with regard to the conditions and maybe labor requirements or immigration requirements before they can be sent home.
Back home, the number of suspected cases of COVID-19 has climbed to 521, but 350 patients have already been sent home while only 171 are still admitted to various hospitals. The health department also noted that 453 PUIs have already tested negative for the new coronavirus, while they're still waiting for the results of 22 more cases. And as of last night, the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases is nearing 80,000. Death toll from the coronavirus disease is at 1,775. More than 11,000 people have been cured. While this proves a decline in new cases, the World Health Organization believes that the evolution of the virus is still possible.
The data also appear to show a decline in new cases. This trend must be interpreted very cautiously. Trends can change as new populations are affected. It's too early to tell if this reported decline will continue. Every scenario is still on the table.
A bit of good news. China has approved the commercial production and selling of the first antiviral drug against COVID-19. This is Favilavir, which was developed by Zhejiang Hesun Pharmaceutical Company. Meanwhile, WHO Emergencies Programs head Mike Ryan clarified the COVID-19 outbreak is not yet a pandemic. Ryan explained that this can only happen if the virus spread faster in communities outside China.
So therefore, I think we have to be very, very careful, not to drive fear in the world right now, and be very cautious in using the words you have used. We've said it, the risk is very high in China, it is high regionally, and it is high around the world. That is not the risk is high of a pandemic. The risk is high that the disease may spread further. And I think at face value, that is true.
The health department also issued a clarification. There is no evidence that COVID-19 can be transmitted through eating at hot pots or buffets. The DOH made this announcement after reports saying a family in Hong Kong tested positive for the virus after sharing shabu-shabu. Now, the department has earlier said that the SARS-like virus can only be passed through exposure to droplets from infected people.
Kung ano man po ang ating mga binibigay na advisory para sa pag-iwas, these are general precautions. Hindi ho natin kailangan tukuyin na pag ikaw ay nag-buffet, pag ikaw ay nag-shabu-shabu ba, ikaw ay makakakuha ng sakit.
Tourism in the country is seen to take a hit due to the COVID-19 scare. But for Malacanang, President Duterte may still find a way to boost interest for travel in the country. Palace spokesman Sal Pinelo says the president is expected to visit the various tourist destinations such as Boracay, Cebu, and Bohol to lift travel concerns.
He's a magnet. He's always a magnet. His presence attracts people from attending an event.
COVID-19 related travel restrictions have caused longer than expected holidays for some OFWs vacationing here. For many of them, it's not entirely a good deal if the travel ban costs them their jobs. Gerald de la Peña has a report.
Overseas Filipino workers based in Hong Kong who are currently in the country are worried. They fear that overstaying here due to the travel ban might cost them their jobs. 11th, a domestic helper, said her visa is about to expire.
Kagaya po namin na contractual lang po, nanganganib po ang aming trabaho na kami po ay ma-terminate dahil po hindi po kami makabalik sa takdang araw po ng balik po namin sa amin employer.
Tess, an employee in Hong Kong, was allowed to work from home, but she doesn't know for how long.
Ang problema doon ay gaano katagal yung sinasabi nilang work at home. Kasi hindi naman yon panghabang buhay o matagalan na iaalaw ka ng isang profit-oriented company na magtrabaho sa bahay. Kasi may limitasyon yon.
Feliza, also an OFW in Hong Kong, said it's more expensive to start over again in the country.
Mag-uumpisa tayo sa zero. Pag umpisa pa lang po natin ang panibagong pag-apply, madugo na po yan sa bulsa.
Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin in a tweet said domestic workers should be allowed to return to the Asian financial hub, noting that Hong Kong has better facilities to contain the virus. He promised to reconsider lifting the travel ban in Hong Kong in 2 weeks' time. Some OFWs, however, are not in favor of proposals forcing them to sign a waiver when they go back to Hong Kong.
Parang tinatanggalan mo ng responsibilidad ang gobyerno doon sa kanyang pagbibigay ng responsibilidad sa mga OFWs, sa mga residente at sa mga Pilipino na lalabas.
Communications Secretary Martin Andanar says the Macau ban might also be lifted like in Taiwan's case. But the health department and key government agencies still have to assess protocols that Macau has put in place to contain the disease. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
The Catholic Church is also stepping up measures against the spread of COVID-19 in the country. Pangmasa reports that the CBCP has urged caution against the wiping of ash on the forehead come Ash Wednesday on February 26. It also urged the public to wait for the sprayed holy water as blessing instead of using the holy water font. Twin fires broke out in a span of about 12 hours in Mandaue City yesterday. The Freeman reports that around 270 families were affected by the blaze. The first fire killed a retired judge and his wife, while their grandson is still missing in Barangay Centro. Now, the second incident raised the Almers compound in Barangay Tabok, which was put out in about 2 hours. An alleged bribery scheme of the Bureau of Immigration, which allows entry of Chinese nationals in the Philippines, was aired at the Senate inquiry on Monday. Philippine Star reports that the so-called pastillas scheme apparently meant a 10,000 peso service fee for immigration officials. That's for every time a Chinese national gets past the country's borders. Senator Riza Ontiveros, who chairs the Senate panel on women, children, and family, berated BI officials involved in the modus. Ontiveros estimates the modus total take to be about 10 billion pesos. 4 years into the Duterte administration's war against drugs, the Interior Department says they have yet to validate government's drug watch list, which now involves one of PNP's top narco hunters, Lieutenant Colonel Jovi Espinido. Jen Calimon has a report.
Of the 357 policemen on President Rodrigo Duterte's drug watch list, 1 has already died, 43 are on a wall, while 15 have retired or have availed of optional retirement. But the PNP says retirement does not mean they are off the hook.
Hindi ibig sabihin na nag-optional retirement ka na, hindi ka na namin iimbestigahan. Di ba? Nandun pa rin yan. At kung ma-prove namin nakasama ka pa rin dapat doon sa watch list, then we will still place you under our monitoring and build cases, criminal cases against you.
While the Interior Department has given policemen the green light to grab the retirement package, their benefits could still be stripped off if found guilty of a criminal offense.
Sa ating batas din, hindi ito ibig sabihin tapos ka na sa pananagutan. Kung in the future may lumabas na biglang ebidensya, pwedeng bawiin yung benefits mo.
310 of the policemen on the list had taken a surprise drug test, and all the results turned out negative. Interior Secretary Eduardo Año confirmed Lieutenant Colonel Jovi Espinido is on the drug watch list. Espinido is known for neutralizing 2 alleged narco-politicians, Mayor Rolando Espinosa of Leyte and Mayor Reynaldo Paruhinog of Osamis City. Aside from Espinido, 2 other unnamed high-ranking generals are also on the list. But Año admitted it has been 4 years since the list was collated, and the validation process has not yet been completed.
Dapat mag-undergo ng validation, gumagawa sa ng validation quarterly sa mga high ranking officials, at doon naman sa mga low ranking ay monthly.
A new social media challenge is making rounds, and from the name itself, Skull Breaker Challenge, it's already sparking worry from parents and health officials. JC Cosico has the report, but please do not try this at home.
Internet can be a gold mine for many things, including, well, crazy and sometimes downright dangerous challenges. The most recent one is the Skull Breaker Challenge. This involves 3 persons, 2 of which will jump first. The last one and the middle follows after, but will be tripped down by the 2. Some parents cannot help but worry because of this new TikTok challenge.
Mga anak ko, syempre high school po yun, mahilig gumaya sa mga napapanood nila sa internet, kaya medyo kinakabahan po.
Opo, kailangan po talaga itigil na yan. Delikado po sa ating mga kabataan, lalo na sa mga estudyante.
According to some, people should not always jump into the bandwagon.
Pwedeng may ma-aksidente po sa ganung paraan. Opo, nakakatawa po siya pero sa maling paraan.
Unang-una po talaga dapat iniingatan po yung ulo. Kasi po pag nabagok po yung ulo, baka magkaroon na makalimutan.
While for medical practitioners, this internet challenge may result in possible serious injuries.
Either mamatay ang pasyente, magkaroon ng spine injury, or maparalyze siya. Hindi magandang biro. Hindi siya magandang joke.
The act can also lead to brain damage and worse, death.
Either magkaroon siya ng skull fracture, either magkaroon siya ng brain hemorrhage. Makita mo, hindi nakikilos ang pasyente. Mawawala na ng malay. Eventually, pwede ma-disable ang pasyente. If not, worse, death will occur.
Parents are now urged to look after their children to make sure they are not engaging in any life-threatening internet craze.
Hanggat maaari, yung mga magulang i-address natin na kung pwede, bilhin na nila yung mga anak nila na hanggat maaari. Kung may mga biro na ganon, no, na nakakasakit, iwasan na lang muna.
DepEd has also issued a memo to school teachers and administrators to monitor such activities within their campuses.
Right now, may mga cases na nga tayo na nagko-complain ang mga parents na mga bata nagkaka-aksidente sa school. So, kasama na yan sa general guidelines natin eh.
For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
Amid the global health concerns, Japan is pushing through with the 2020 Summer Olympics. In fact, Tokyo has recently unveiled the motto for the most anticipated sporting event. Organizers have chosen United by Emotion, saying this reflects universal values and the unifying power of sport. The opening ceremonies for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics are set on July 24. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.